Hey, can we can we talk for a minute away from all the cameras and the noise and everyone else? I know you're probably wondering what the hell I'm doing right now. Trust me, I'm wondering the same thing. Look, I get it if you don't want to. I mean, after everything that's happened between our teams, after all the things I've said, you probably think I'm here to mess with your head before the finals or something. But I'm not. I promise I'm not here for that. God, this is harder than I thought it would be. I've been standing here for like 10 minutes trying to work up the courage to even approach you. And now that I'm actually talking, I sound like a complete idiot. You know what? Maybe this was a mistake. You're looking at me like you're waiting for the punchline or the insult or whatever cool thing I'm supposed to say next. And I don't blame you. I really don't. Because that's all I've ever been to you, isn't it? Just this cold, calculating person who shows up to destroy your team and then disappears until the next tournament. But that's not who I really am, and I'm so tired of pretending that it is. I know you probably hate me. Hell, you should hate me after some of the things I've done, but I had to try talking to you like this, just once, without all the cameras and the expectations and the stupid rivalry that everyone keeps pushing. So, will you will you just give me 5 minutes to explain why I'm really here? Okay, you're still here. That's something, I guess. Look, I need to tell you something, and it's going to sound completely insane. Everything you think you know about our rivalry, it's a lie. Not the competition part. That's real. But all the rest of it, the trash talk, the cold shoulder, the way I act like I can't stand being in the same room as you. God, you're looking at me like I've grown a second head. I get it. The truth is, I did it to get your attention. All of it. Every single time I went after you in interviews, every time I made some cutting remark about your strategies, every time I acted like you were beneath me, it was because I couldn't figure out any other way to make you notice me. I know how that sounds. Trust me, I know. A grown woman starting a fake rivalry because she has the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old with a crush. It's pathetic, but you have to understand. When we first met at that tournament 3 years ago, you were so focused, so passionate about the game. And when you looked at me, it was like you were seeing right through all the bullshit everyone else bought into. For about 30 seconds, I thought maybe we could actually talk, really talk. Then your teammate made that joke about ice queens, and you laughed, and I panicked. So I put on this mask, this persona, and somehow it became easier to be your enemy than risk being nothing to you at all. I've been carrying this around for so long, and watching you get more and more frustrated with me, seeing that look in your eyes like you genuinely can't stand me. It's been killing me because the person you hate isn't even real. Do you even remember that first tournament in, I think it was San Diego, 3.5 years ago now? You probably didn't even see me then. I was nobody, just some girl who'd barely scraped together enough points to qualify, playing on borrowed equipment because my team couldn't afford matching setups. But I saw you. God, how could I not? You were already making waves, had that sponsorship deal everyone was talking about. I remember thinking you were probably just another cocky hotshot who'd gotten lucky. Then something happened during the semifinals. That kid from the European team, the one who couldn't have been more than 16, his mouse died right in the middle of a crucial play. His whole team was falling apart, and the refs were being absolute jerks about the technical timeout. You didn't hesitate. You just walked over and handed him your backup mouse. Your good one, not some cheap spare. And when he tried to thank you, you just shrugged and said something like, "We're all here to play our best game, right?" I was watching from the warm up area, and I'd never seen anyone do that before. Not at that level. Everyone else was so focused on winning at any cost. And there you were, making sure your competition had a fair shot to beat you. That's when I knew I was in trouble, because suddenly you weren't just some player I might face someday. You were this person who cared about the integrity of the game more than just collecting trophies. And I wanted so badly to be good enough to earn that kind of respect from you. The problem was, by the time I actually got good enough to be on your radar, rivalry seemed like the only language that made sense. How do you walk up to someone and say, "Hey, remember that nobody from San Diego? Well, she's been thinking about you for 3 years." So instead, I picked fights, made everything a competition, figured if I couldn't impress you with kindness, maybe I could at least make you remember my name. You want to know the worst part about all of this? It's not just the fighting, or the trash talk, or even the way people expect us to hate each other. It's what happens when I go back to my hotel room after those matches, where I've been particularly cruel. I'd sit there on the edge of the bed, still in my team jersey, and I'd just hate myself. Really hate myself, because I'd replay every cutting thing I said, every time I saw that little flicker in your eyes when I went too far, and I'd think, God, he probably thinks you're a monster. My teammates would be out celebrating or whatever, and I'd be there alone, knowing that I'd just spent 2 hours being the exact opposite of who I actually am. And the crazy thing is, they don't even know this side exists. My own team thinks this is just me, that I'm naturally this competitive ice queen who lives for the drama. I can see you processing this. It's a lot. I know. 3 years of maintaining a lie tends to pile up. But here's the part that's really going to sound pathetic. Sometimes, after those particularly brutal matches, I'd go home and I'd watch your streams, not to scout your strategies or look for weaknesses, just to hear you talk, to hear you laugh with your chat, see you get excited about some new technique, or frustrated when a play didn't work out. It was like getting to see the real you, the one who existed when you weren't having to deal with me being awful. And I think this is the person I fell for at that tournament. This is who I've been pushing away for 3 years. There were nights I'd draft messages to you. Apologies, explanations, anything that might let me drop the act for 5 minutes. But how do you even begin that conversation? Hey, sorry for being your nemesis. Turns out I've had a crush on you this whole time. So instead, I just kept digging the hole deeper, kept being your enemy, because it was the only role I knew how to play with you, even when it was killing me inside. And now I'm sitting here, having just dumped 3 years worth of secrets on you, and I'm absolutely terrified of what you're thinking right now. I keep trying to read your expression, but honestly, I'm too scared to look directly at you for more than a second. Because what if I see disgust? What if I see pity? What if I see that look people get when they realize someone's been, I don't know, obsessing over them? God, when I say it like that, it sounds so much worse. I promise I'm not some stalker who's been planning this whole elaborate thing. I fell for you at the worst possible time, in the worst possible way. And then I was too much of a coward to do anything about it, except make everything infinitely more complicated. You know what the really pathetic part is? I've been the villain in your story for so long that I don't even know if there's a way back from that. Even if by some miracle you don't think I'm completely insane, how do you get past 3 years of me being, well, me, the person who made your life hell at every tournament? I keep thinking about all those times I could have just been normal, just walked up to you after a match and said congratulations, or asked if you wanted to grab coffee, or literally anything that wasn't designed to make you want to avoid me forever. But instead, I built this whole reputation as your nemesis, your Ice Queen rival who lives to make you miserable. And now I'm sitting here asking you to somehow see past all of that and believe that it was all just fear. So, yeah, that's my big dramatic secret. Pretty lame for an Ice Queen. Huh? Turns out the terrifying captain of your biggest rival team is just someone who's been too scared to have a normal conversation with her crush for 3 years. Please, say something, even if it's just to tell me to get lost. I just had to know. I couldn't go another year like this. You know what? I'm going to ask you for something that might sound completely crazy, but what if we could just start over? Like, completely over? I mean, think about it. What if we just pretended we met for the first time, right here? No history, no rivalry, no 3 years of me being absolutely awful to you. Just two people who happen to bump into each other at a gaming convention. Because honestly, I think you might actually like the person I am when I'm not trying so hard to be someone else. When I'm not putting on this whole Ice Queen act, because I'm terrified of being vulnerable. The real me is, well, she's probably a lot more boring than my reputation suggests. But she's also a lot kinder, and she laughs at terrible jokes, and she gets way too excited about new game releases, and she actually enjoys just talking to people without it being some kind of strategic mind game. I know it sounds ridiculous to ask you to just forget everything, but what if we could? What if instead of trying to work backwards through all this mess I created, we could just move forward, see who we actually are when we're not playing these roles we've been stuck in? Would you want to grab a coffee with me after the convention? No teams, no headsets, no cameras or crowds, just us, two people getting to know each other for the first time. I promise I'll leave the intimidating team captain at the door and just bring myself, the real me. I can't promise I won't be nervous, because, honestly, the idea of you seeing who I really am is terrifying in a completely different way. But it's the good kind of terrifying, like standing at the edge of something new and amazing, and not knowing if you're brave enough to jump. So, what do you say? Think you'd be willing to give the real me a chance? I hope this doesn't sound too weird, but there are all these little things about you that I've noticed over the years. Things that have nothing to do with how well you play or how many tournaments you've won. Like the way you always take time to actually answer fan questions after matches. Even when you're exhausted, most players just give these quick, generic responses, but you really listen to what they're asking. And when that kid asked you about dealing with anxiety during competitions last year, you sat there for like 10 minutes just talking to him. I was watching from across the room, and I could see how much it meant to him. And you have this laugh that's completely different from your public laugh. Your real one is quieter, and it starts with this little snort that you try to cover up, but it's so genuine. I heard it once when you were talking to your teammate about some ridiculous meme, and I remember thinking that was the first time I'd heard you sound completely relaxed. Oh God, sorry. Is this weird? I'm probably making this weird. It's just, you have this little smile you do when you think no one's watching, usually right before a match starts, when you're adjusting your headset. It's not your confident game face smile, it's softer, like you're just happy to be there, doing what you love. I've been paying attention to you for so long, and not in a competitive way. Well, in a way that probably would have embarrassed me if anyone knew. But seeing how gracious you are when you lose, how you always shake hands with genuine respect, how you never throw your teammates under the bus during interviews, that's what made me realize this wasn't just about gaming anymore. The person you are when the cameras aren't rolling, when you think nobody important is watching. That's who I've been falling for this whole time. So, that's everything. That's all of it laid out there between us. Messy and honest. And probably way more than you bargained for when you walked over here tonight. I know this changes things. How could it not? And I know you might need time to process all of this. Or maybe you already know exactly how you feel and it's not, well, it's not what I'm hoping for. But I meant what I said about that coffee, not as some grand romantic gesture or anything, just as two people who maybe don't have to be rivals anymore, who could try being something else instead. I'm not asking you to have all the answers right now. I'm not even asking you to feel the same way I do, though obviously that would be incredible. I'm just asking if you think there might be something here worth exploring, because I've spent so long pretending to dislike you, pretending that our competition was everything, and I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of hiding behind this version of myself that everyone expects to see. You make me want to be real. You make me want to drop the act and just be myself, even if that self is nervous and awkward and apparently talks way too much when she's trying to confess her feelings. I've said everything. Now it's your turn. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, I can handle it. I just need to know. I really hope this isn't the end of our story. I hope it's the beginning.